Tonight, setting a record year. Numbers are in for Duluth's tourism dollars, why an all-time high has city officials thinking twice.
And a massive deficit is causing concern for a local school district. What's being done to fix the nearly $1 million hole?
Plus, new numbers show just how many people text and drive in Minnesota. We're digging into who's the biggest contributor in this week's Eye on Parenting.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. With help from events like the Duluth Air Show, the Festival of Sail, and Bentleyville, Duluth set another tourism record last year, a 5-year trend.
In 2019, the city of Duluth raised almost $12.5 million from a tourism tax. That's 2% or $243,000 higher than in 2018. The city has seen tourism growth every year since 2014, but the amount of the growth each year is actually decreasing. For example, from 2017 to 2018, there was more than a 4.7% or $548,000 increase.
CBS3's Alex Libby spoke with city officials to see why the growth isn't as large as past years and what is expected for the year ahead.
Tony, Kristen, that increase, which Kate Van Dale, the public information officer with the city of Duluth, expects that to plateau anytime. That's because despite the 5 years trend of tourism tax collection growth, Van Dale says they're trying to be conservative when we're budgeting each year. Van Dale says one possible reason for the decrease in tourism tax growth last year may have been all the snow we got at the end of the year, and Bentleyville being able to close for several days. She also says greater increases year to year can be attributed to how well the economy is doing at any given time, but Van Dale says any increase is a success.
Of being the best restaurants in the state, that's something that we're really proud to continue to uplift, and we're excited that not only residents but tourists want to go to those places and try out the great food they have to offer.
The Duluth tourism tax is collected from money spent at restaurants and hotels, and that money goes to city-run attractions like the zoo and the aquarium. Van Dale predicts 2020 to be a big year for Duluth tourism, with new events popping up at a new exhibit at the zoo and the Duluth Air Show being back in town. And coming up at 10, we talk to local business owners to see how they fared in 2019. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Dave, it's a pretty nice day out there today.
You know, it started a little bit better than I thought. Yeah. I thought it was going to be a little bit cloudier, but after a couple of hours, it started to catch up out there. And that's because a trough of lower pressure is working its way towards us from the west. And for many towns tonight, it means a chance for flurries and light snow that could add up to about an inch as we go through tomorrow. You see that little bit of clearing on the north side of the trough, that's higher pressure trying to wedge in as well. And so that means a wide variety of weather for our Friday. This is the day planner for the Duluth area, and it calls for a low temp of 12 above, then flurries around lunchtime after the light snow goes away, and a top temp around 16. Now up around International Falls, where that Arctic high may win out, it could be sunny tomorrow with the daytime start of 10 below. So a real wide range of temperatures around the region tomorrow. Will your town go below or stay above zero? I'll let you know with the 7-day forecast coming up in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Thieves recently preyed on a popular Duluth park. Hartley Nature Center staff say sometime over the weekend, someone stole their snowblower. They apparently cut the lock that chained the machine to the main building. Hartley staff reported it to the police, but they hope you'll keep your eye out as well. This particular Aaron snowblower won't have a key, and its pull start is broken.
You now have to be 21 to buy tobacco products in Cloquet. On Tuesday evening, the city council members voted unanimously to raise the legal age to purchase tobacco products from 18 to 21. That law went into effect yesterday. City administrators say they changed the city language to comply with the federal law. Carleton County passed a similar ordinance back in December. The city of Cloquet is responsible for licensing tobacco dealers within city limits. That means Carleton County's rule change did not apply to the city.
Major changes could be coming to the Barnum School District, and it's all because of a big deficit.
Yeah, right now the school district is about $700,000 to $750,000 in the hole. CBS3's Emma Quinn spoke with the Barnum superintendent about how they plan to make up for it. She's live for us in the newsroom tonight. Emma.
Yeah, Tony, Kristen, Superintendent Mike McNulty blames the deficit on declining enrollment and less funding coming from the state. McNulty says the district is forced to pay mandated special education costs to the state. He also says they're seeing fewer students because of a steadily declining birth rate in the area. McNulty says the board has had several conversations about how to make up for the deficit, including cutting staff in the form of either teachers, custodians, or bus drivers. They're also considering increasing class sizes. McNulty says nothing has been decided yet, and it could take several months. And at Tuesday night's board meeting, they heard from parents, staff, and students.
There was a little of everything there. I kind of expect that because it's new here. They have not gone through a reduction process. Is this big? Thoughts are in the right place or ideas in the right place. The students, you want to keep as many programs and staff as you can that'll drive the offerings you can have.
McNulty says there are also education-based grants they're looking into. And now McNulty says the school board hasn't made any decisions yet, and they could decide at their next board meeting or wait a few months. Now, coming up at 10, we'll hear from some of those parents and the students about that possible cut.
All right. Thanks so much, Emma.
Governor Tony Evers is calling for the Republican-controlled legislature to spend $250 million of the state budget surplus on public schools, roughly half of which would be targeted toward lowering property taxes. The plan contrasts with Republican leaders who say they're focused on tapping the budget surplus for cutting taxes. Evers surrounded himself with teachers, school board members, superintendents, Democratic lawmakers, and others to call a special session to take up the plan. The proposal is expected to face a tough road in the GOP-controlled legislature.
The chairman of the DNC is calling for a recanvass of the results of Monday's Iowa caucus. As we previously reported, technical problems and delays have marred the first contest on the 2020 election calendar. The current results continue to show Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders nearly tied with almost all the votes counted. However, the race remained too early to call today, with 97% of precincts reporting. Party officials are currently scrambling to verify the remaining results 3 days after Iowans gathered at caucus sites across the state to begin choosing which Democrat will take on President Donald Trump in November.
President Trump is taking a victory lap 1 day after the Senate voted largely along party lines to acquit him on 2 articles of impeachment.
This is what the end result is.
President Trump gathered his supporters at the White House for what he said was not a speech, but a celebration. The president solicited praise for his lawyers and congressional Republicans while taking shots at the Democrats. Shortly after, the president singled out Republican Senator Mitt Romney, who crossed party lines and voted to convict on abuse of power. Afterwards, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi praised Romney, saying, quote, "God bless him for his courage." Healthcare advocates in Wisconsin are hoping their push to lower prescription costs makes it out of committee before the session wraps up for the year. Anthony has more.
Kristen, this measure would reform what's known as the middleman, who calculates how much you pay for medication, which is called a pharmacy benefit manager, or PBM, who plays a big role in distributing and selling prescription drugs. Their job is to negotiate drug prices with insurers and employers. However, pharmacists say the price information they receive is oftentimes hidden from consumers. It's often called a gag rule, preventing pharmacists from telling customers how to save money or help them find cheaper alternatives. Under the proposal, PBMs would be allowed to establish price requirements with their patients and allow consumers to get their prescriptions where they choose. The proposal also removes a PBM's ability to charge patients a higher copay than the price of their medication. Meanwhile, opponents argue the bill would limit competition between pharmacies and increase costs by not allowing PBMs to negotiate deals.
New data from the state shows from August of 2019 through December, 9,727 citations were given out for violating Minnesota's hands-free law.
And 46% of those tickets were actually given to an age range that might surprise you. CBS 3's Leanne Valdez has that and more in this week's Eye on Parenting.
I still see far too many people holding their phone.
Distracted driving contributed to more than 60,000 crashes in Minnesota from 2014 to 2018, according to data from handsfreemn.org. Minnesota rolled out the hands-free law in August of 2019, and from then until December, 9,727 citations were given out. More than 3,000 were 16 to 29-year-olds. 1,655 were 50 to 75-year-olds. But the age range with the most citations were 30 to 49-year-olds, with 4,520. Minnesota Towards Zero Deaths Director Holly Kostreski says those numbers surprise many.
Most folks are surprised about that because they think it's going to be the teenagers all the time. It's the adults. We're not being very good role models.
Kostreski says in order for all of those numbers to decrease, we need to do better in order to raise better.
Kids, they're the best mimickers. They just mimic what we do. Whenever they turn forward in their car seat, they start observing how you drive, right? You talk on your phone, they talk on their phone. You text and drive, they're going to text and drive.
In Minnesota, texting citations climbed 30% from 2017 to 2018. Kostreski credits the number to humans trying to do it all at once.
I think that our society has turned drive time into extra time or free time. And so they think that they have that time to not drive and to be focused on whatever is most important to them instead of thinking that driving should be the most important thing to you in that moment.
Do unto others as you want to be done to you.
All of your kids are watching that, right? And you would be devastated if somebody else hit your family while they were videoing something. So why do you think that you should video when you're behind the wheel or send a text when you're behind the wheel?
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, Take 2, Escape the Bong returns. We'll tell you what it is and how it benefits the area coming up after the break.
High temp today, 28 degrees, normal is 22. Temperature-wise, we'll be reasonably close to normal for the week ahead. A couple of snow chances coming our way, though, including one tonight, and we'll talk about it coming up after the break.
Schneiderman's helps you celebrate life's happiest moments when everyone has a spot. Even Spot. It's BOGO time at Schneiderman's. Buy one item and get another half off during the President's Day sale at Schneiderman's Furniture.
It's the extreme deal of the day. Call now and get fast internet for less than $20 a month. If you ever thought about switching internet providers, the time to do it is now. For a limited time, you can get Access Internet 60 with speeds up to 60 meg and in-home Wi-Fi for only $19.99 a month for 1 year. Plus, there's no contract to sign. This is your chance to get real high-speed internet without the high price. Call 855-330-4175 today.
You'll have the greatest health care ever. Those pre-existing conditions are
You'll be spending a lot less money for much, much better health care.
As mayor, Mike Bloomberg helped expand coverage for 700,000 more New Yorkers. As president, everyone will have access to affordable care. He'll cap health care costs and ban surprise medical bills. Real plans, not empty promises.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Cash in on Money Bag Fridays at Bad River Lodge and Casino. Every Friday in February from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., you'll have a chance to win up to $10,000. Get ready to sack some cash, and we'll see you at Bad River Lodge and Casino.
This winter, beat the cold with an Up North hat. Michigan made, these warm hats are expertly stitched with soft fabric, perfect for protecting you from whatever Mother Nature throws your way. Visit our website today at upnorthhats.com.
When news happens, CBS3 is there.
The smoke is still really heavy. You can smell it.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm.
Anytime, day or night.
And while this is a very active scene, the public is being asked to stay away from the area.
Good afternoon, I'm Kristen Bakke. We're cutting in with a follow-up to some breaking news out of Cloquet this morning. CBS3 first got word of this fire and went to the scene at around 3:30.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3.
Schneiderman's helps you celebrate life's outrageous moments. More room for the king of the castle. Sleep 8 degrees cooler and save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic Breeze during the President's Day sale at Schneiderman Sleep.
So how's everybody's day?
You know Sheldon and Georgie are working on something together?
That's nice.
I don't like it.
Our kids are behaving.
Exactly. Something bad's gonna happen. You could have burned the school down.
Georgie had permission from the teacher.
The teacher said it was okay for a 10-year-old and an idiot to use a 2,000-degree oven unsupervised.
You fibber.
That good, huh?
A new Young Sheldon, tonight at 8/7 Central on CBS.
CBS 3 News is brought to you by Fond du Lac Casino.
CBS 3 weather is brought to you by Nicolay Law Office. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
We are expecting a little light snow tonight through tomorrow afternoon for most of our towns. And so let's start right now by taking a look at the snow total estimates. It's really just a little trough of low pressure that we have to stretch a little bit to even call an Alberta clipper. So not looking at that much in the way of precip. Going in general from like 1/10 of an inch in the Hayward area to 2.1 inches around Two Harbors. So a bit of a dusting, but as we Northlanders know, even a dusting can make the roads a little bit slippery. So it behooves us to be a little bit cautious during the commute tomorrow morning and perhaps on the way back home again tomorrow night. Now, temperature-wise, there's going to be a wide variety of temps here tonight. To the north and the west of Duluth, some places could go below zero, while right by the lake we could be in the mid-teens above. So a really big range of temperatures here, at least for the next 24 hours. Right now, the range of temperatures is on the warmer side. It's still 25 degrees at the airport in Duluth with a partly cloudy sky, but that trough of lower pressure in the Dakotas is increasing the clouds, and it should become mostly cloudy in just a matter of hours. Wind right now, southwest 3 miles per hour, relative humidity 55%, and our air pressure going down right now at 29.67 inches of mercury. Current temperatures, static for some places, going down for others, like International Falls, where it has gone down to 14, though it's still 25 towards Orr, 17 Hibbing, 25 Moose Lake, and 23 in Superior. Looking at mid-20s in general up the North Shore and along the South Shore as well, 27 right now towards Watersmeet, Michigan. And like I mentioned, low temps tonight could go towards 10 below for International Falls, 15 above for Park Point and Superior. The rest of us somewhere in between, and with the forecast coming up in a minute or so, we'll show you which town is going to be which. But right now, we eye up the Doppler map, which shows that trough of lower pressure snaking its way in through the northern parts of our region. And along its boundary here, light snow showers are kicking up, and they're pushing in from the west as well. So 40 to 60% chance we'll get light snow tonight through about the noon hour tomorrow, especially for Minnesota. Might linger a little bit longer for Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula as this high heads downwards and takes a hike towards the south. So this low pressure system brings that chance for the light snows, and by Saturday it likely will be gone and we'll be caught in between low pressure systems. So through the weekend, we're probably going to be on the cloudy side, especially on Saturday, still cloudy on Sunday too, and this low from the west may be within range of our region by Sunday to kick up another chance for snow showers and some light flurries. Forecast here tonight, we're looking at low temps in Minnesota, like I said, to take a wide range from 10 below. International Falls to 5 below, in Ely to 16 on Park Point. 60% chance for the light snow. In Wisconsin, 40% chance for the light snow. Low temps there, 10 to 13 above. For tomorrow, daytime highs in Wisconsin, Michigan going 17 to 23 above. 40% chance for that light snow business to continue, probably into the afternoon. 60% chance for it to be around in the morning for Minnesota, with highs as low as 6 for International Falls and as warm as 20 towards Moose Lake. So that wide range of temperatures continues for at least 24 hours. And then we moderate a bit for the rest of the week. 7 days ahead here with high temps in general going from 19 to 24. Although there are signs of a cool down hitting us again by next Thursday. And by next Friday, we could go back below once more.
All right, well, I can't complain about February so far, and I don't mind a little shoveling. It's winter.
You've had a lot of work if you turn that into a business.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, you can put your problem-solving skills to the test while supporting a good cause this weekend. This is the second year for Escape the Bong. The Bong Veterans Historical Center is hosting escape rooms. It's an effort to raise money for the center. Organizers say they have different themed rooms throughout the weekend.
Some are historical themed, military ties, others are just general interest, and so it's a great way for us to raise funds for education programming and to get people in the door and have some fun and work on some teamwork.
The escape rooms are good for people ages 10 and up. They run through Saturday, and you can book your slot online.
Ely's annual Winter Festival is back. The Winter Festival, which starts today, features a lot of events and activities. But one of the 10-day festival's biggest draws is the Snow Sculpting Symposium. 12 professional sculpting teams from around the Midwest and Canada create snow sculptures around the city. Other events include live music, snowshoeing, and a skating rink. You can head to our website for more details.
It is Thursday, which means another full night of high school hockey here on CBS3. Coming up, we're going to have a preview from Evelyn, Minnesota, plus what else is happening on the Iron Range Conference and what's up with the Timberwolves. We'll have that next in sports.
Outfit your Can-Am with a plow from Duluth Lawn and Sport.
CBS3 Live Cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Essentia Health physical therapist Ron Winans tells us how the SpineX rehabilitation program is helping patients restore neck and back strength.
We incorporate some strength and conditioning, cardiovascular, stretching, home program, and a routine here in the physical therapy department. We're here also to help decrease their fear, return to their activities recreationally, work, home, yard work, anything they need. We cater their program to themselves. So someone comes in with back and neck pain. It is a head-to-toe project. We do initial evaluation. We find out where they're at, not where they should be at for height, weight, age, female or male. We find out where they're at. If you're 6'5", 350 pounds, that's who you need to be strong enough for. So we got to find out where you're at. 80% of sports injuries are training errors, so we have to find out what's their flexibility, range of motion, and then progress there.
The SpineX program is 2 days a week for 6 to 8 weeks. Winans says a successful outcome is when patients can increase their activity without fear.
We're here to re-educate the back and neck, increase their range of motion flexibility. Once we have that, then we can start building on the strengthening component. So it is, again, tailored to the individual, and obviously as they build confidence and decrease fear to their return to activities, I want to hear that they can do stuff they hadn't been able to do. And that's what we typically see. In the last 11 to 12 years, we've seen close to 2,500 patients with an 80% successful rate.
For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
This Medical Insight was brought to you by Essentia Health. To learn more about the services we offer, visit essentiahealth.org.
America's Most Watched Network. Tonight starting at 7, only on CBS3 Duluth. Then stay tuned for CBS3 News at 10. When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm.
For up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Stay away from here.
Live local weather coverage on CBS3 Duluth.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez on CBS3.
Being a disabled veteran and to have a tooth pain on top of severe PTSD will take you down in the dump. After several denials, when I went to Aspen Dental, they gave me a free exam, free x-rays. The doctor comes in and he's like, you are in pain, so we're going to get you taken care of. I had no insurance.
At Aspen Dental, we're all about yes. Like yes to flexible hours and payment options. Yes to 30% off dental services. And yes, we'll take care of you no matter what. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL today.
Welcome back into sports. My name is Kelly Hinsett. The buzzer just sounded for the JV game here in Evelyn-Gilbert as the Golden Bears just topped Hibbing Chisholm 4-2. Coming up in a little bit, the varsity teams are going to hit the ice as well. A bit of a quieter night here in Minnesota for high school hockey, especially in the Northland. Only 2 high school boys games, and they're both on the range. So we're calling this our Iron Range special here on Thursday night. Face off. The game behind me, or to the side of me rather, is going to get going in about a half hour. Again, it's Evelyn-Gilbert and Hibbing Chisholm. We're also going to have Greenway and International Falls coming up. But as for tonight's matchup that I am at, it is the final trio of regular season games for these two teams, believe it or not. These two teams on opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of where they sit record-wise. On the visiting side, Hibbing Chisholm has lost 9 out of their last 10 with only 1 win on the season. They will look to get win number 4 on the season, rather, for the first time tonight. On the home side, Evelyn-Gilbert has the opportunity to win their 10th game out of the last 11 matchups. they're sneaky good. The Golden Bears have been a sneaky force on the range this season. The team is ranked 16th in the Single A Let's Play Hockey rankings. They'll look to close out their last 3 games at home with a quad of wins heading into the postseason. Like I said, this one will get started about a half hour here at the Evelyn Hippodrome. We will have full highlights and recap tonight in the CBS3 News at 10. That'll be part of our Iron Range Thursday night face-off. So be sure to tune into that tonight in addition to the Greenway and International Falls game. We'll also have the UWS men's game as they take the ice tonight in Superior. But switching gears just a bit or a lot to the NBA, we got some basketball news that we have to talk about in terms of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I told you that trade was going to work out in the Wolves' favor of getting D'Angelo Russell in Minnesota. Of course, the Wolves do give up Andrew Wiggins in return. The NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and the Golden State Warriors agreed to send Russell, D'Angelo to the Timberwolves for forward Andrew Wiggins and a protected first-round pick in 2021 and a second-round pick in 2021 as well. Russell is averaging a career-high 26 points per game for the Warriors this season, who, like the Timberwolves, surprisingly, have been struggling. Minnesota says goodbye to a former #1 pick in Andrew Wiggins. The former Kansas standout spent 6 seasons with the Wolves and was averaging 22 points this season. Has obviously, as Timberwolves fans know well, he has been struggling there. Minnesota wasn't finished because in a separate deal, the Wolves sent center Gorgui Dieng to the Grizzlies in return for forward James Johnson. So here are a lot of numbers. You don't have to remember all these. This looks complicated, but when you look at the contracts that Minnesota and Golden State just exchanged, they're fairly similar, both 3 years and just over $29 million a year. Yeah, we were paying Andrew Wiggins $29 million a year. The difference being that Russell is a better shooter and has been trending upward over the past couple seasons. Definitely a win for Minnesota. And not that it matters. Well, it does. Karl-Anthony Towns and D'Angelo are very, very tight, and so hopefully the chemistry will translate to on the court. But for now, remember, tune in to CBS3 News at 10 for Thursday Night Face-Off. The teams just took the ice for warm-ups. But for now, Kristen and Tony, it's loud here. I'm going to send it back to you.
She looks like she's having fun
yeah,
out there.
Iron Range Thursday Night Face-Off. I love it.
Chisholm.
Chisholm.
Yeah.
All right. You guys know who I'm cheering for.
Is it Chisholm?
It might be. All right. Dave, how are we looking for the rest of the evening here?
You're looking fine.
Thank you.
All right. Tony's not so bad either. Well, we should be looking darker, of course, and cloudier as the night goes on. And from the clouds, there's a 40 to 60% chance for light snow that may stick around through the afternoon hours tomorrow. But once that low-pressure system departs, maybe an inch, maybe 2 of snow. Then for Saturday, cloudy but calm, high temp 19. Sunday gets a 40% chance for flurries with at least a few peaks of the sun. As we go through the rest of the week here, if it's a little bit chilly on Friday with a high of only 16, we do perk back into the mid-20s by Tuesday and maybe through Wednesday as well.
Too many snow chances on that 7-day, Dave. Come
on.
But
they're all slight ones, and right now they look to be light.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.